comic book realm where heroes rise and villains take the helm. We're here to dissect the stories and the art. On source material, we tear the panels apart.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Source Material Comics Podcast.
This episode changed a lot. I originally was going to do like 3 Christmas books, and then I realized none of them will be out, or maybe one might be out by Christmas. But if we do 3 books, then you space them out over weeks at a time. Not to mention you're like 6 months behind. You're like just now. It's funny. Last night we were listening to, or Friday night on the drive home from Halloween Horror Nights, I played the Layla Starr episode.
Oh, yeah.
And my son's like, "When did you record this?" And I'm like, I'm trying to listen to the plugs and what we're talking about. And I'm like, yeah, this was August.
This was a while back.
It's November.
Yeah. Right. Oh, my goodness.
So I dumped the other Christmas books because I'm like, there's no reason for it. Like, one is fine and he'll place it appropriately. And then it was, and then because I'm a good submissive to Jesse Starcher, who is my master in this particular,
the roles have changed.
He's the dom in this relationship. He's like, no more 3 books, 12 issues apiece. So I took out the other 2 books, and that just left Santa Claus Private Eye. And when I looked at how long it was, I'm like, well, that's not Day Tripper. That's not 12 issues long.
No, I think it's really quick to get through.
Yeah, we need to do another marathon recording session. I need to find 2 more books. And then I was like, well, I don't want to do something holiday related. And I kind of looked at what I was trying to do next year. I wanted to do all the CM Punk Drax, but I didn't want to mix it up with this. I want to do Happy, which I think is Grant Morrison, because I want to compare it to the show with you. I have plans for you, Jesse. I have plans for you. I'm trying to quit podcasting with everybody else except you. You I have plans with till 2028.
It's great.
But I was like, so there's nothing really here for me to kind of mix into this and rematch. I was like, all right, well, let me just pull off what's on my shelf. And I was like, well, I bought Superman and the Authority to do when we did All-Star Superman, and that was 12 issues long. So we ended up, I was like, okay, well, I can repurpose that. And then one of the trips to the bookstore, normally when I go to the bookstore with my kids and I grab comics, I'm grabbing something from the independent shelf, like The Butcher of Paris.
Okay, I got you.
But I saw this Multiple Man one, and I think Jamie Madrox is a really funny character. So I was like, all right, I'll grab this book, and it's sat on my shelf, just sat on my shelf, waiting for me to have time to do something other than, watch a movie for a podcast, watch a TV show for a podcast, read a book for a podcast, spend time with my loved ones, work, not die. So I was like, okay, well, Jesse will say yes to anything. So we'll throw in Superman and the Authority and Multiple Man. It all makes sense in the end. And it's kind of a half holiday, half what you're reading Mark episode. And that's how we got here.
Mm-hmm.
No, I say Jesse, you say Mark.
Mark.
Jesse.
Mark.
Did you see the ChatGPT I sent you?
I read it over.
Okay. Did you like how we fell ass backwards into an actual theme besides what you're reading now?
ChatGPT is going to give it 3 random things. It's going to be able to pull something out of the ether.
I really want to test that theory.
Okay, go for it.
I really want to find like 3 random shits.
This is as random as you can get, though. These 3 books that we're talking about, when you look at them, no, I would not have come up with the conclusion that ChatGPT did.
No, I grabbed 3 random books off my shelf and threw them at you.
But it justified it pretty well.
That's what I'm saying. I really do want to just grab 3 random books off my shelf and say, what's the through line? And and see what nonsense it comes up with.
Are you doing that right now?
No.
You're trying to find you want to read the justification of what you came up with here?
I can if you want me to.
I would love to hear it again.
Right. So my prompt was research all the books. Is there any actual through line here? I will tell you that they are put together randomly, so I'm wondering if they fell ass backwards into something. And ChatGPT is always blowing smoke up my ass. That's a sharp instinct. Interestingly, there is an emergent through line if you look beneath the surface genre. It's not about shared continuity, but about fractured identity and moral adaptation under entropy. Here's how it lines up. Santa Claus Private Eye by Jeremy Bernstein, a mythic archetype forced into reinvention. Santa, the pure giver, the eternal symbol of benevolence, is reimagined as a washed-up detective in a corrupt, morally gray world. The story's tones parodies hard-boiled noir, but thematically it's about what happens when the ideal of goodness must survive in a fallen system. Klaus becomes human, jaded, and flawed, but still trying to do the right thing within new rules. Superman and the Authority by Grant Morrison, a god forced into compromise. Superman, traditionally the unbending moral center of the DC universe, is aging, losing power, and facing a cynical planet. Morrison asks what happens when the symbol of hope has to work through morally compromised agents. The Authority, to keep his mission alive. It's a meditation on legacy, ethics, and the price of saying good in a corrupt age. Thematic echo, the saint turned realist, the myth turned man. And Multiple Man, it all makes sense in the end by Matthew Rosenberg.
Yeah, it does.
A man divided by consequence. Jamie Madrox's duplicates spin out of control, each representing divergent paths of morality, ego, and self-deception. The comic becomes a darkly comic reflection on identity fragmentation and the futility of trying to keep every version of yourself coherent in a chaotic world. The same crisis that Claus and Superman, but internalized. What happens when you can't unify who you are anymore? All three stories are about icons breaking under the strain of moral exhaustion. How archetypes, the saint, the god, the self, fracture when faced with modern cynicism.
Interesting.
Each forces its protagonist to negotiate idealism inside corruption. Santa through parody, Superman through politics, Madrox through existential comedy. It's not an accident that all three are postmodern redemption arcs, even if you didn't plan it. You fell into a thematic constellation about heroes adapting to entropy. The same cultural fatigue reflected across noir, superhero, and absurdist genres. Really, we're here because it's the holiday season, and you and I do a Christmas book every year. I sought long and hard for a new Christmas book to do that isn't DC or Marvel, and we've done quite a few between Klaus, the Brian Posehn Christmas.
What was that called?
The Last Christmas. We've done The Last Christmas. We've done a bunch, and so it's getting harder and harder to find not a Marvel, not a DC to do for Christmas with you. I used ChatGPT to find this.
Okay.
It was not an easy find. I did order the book, though. I physically have the book that I bought from Amazon.
Nice.
So I got the floppy.
Very nice. I would have, if I would have not procrastinated, I would have had the actual physical copy, because the price of the physical copy versus the digital copy is negligible. There's nothing.
Yeah.
So I ended up purchasing a digital copy for the first time and read it on the Kindle app on my computer. The app wouldn't work, so I had to do it through the web. Either way, I was able to read it. So yeah. This is so we want to start with Santa Claus Private Eye.
Don't you think we should?
I think we should.
All right, then.
Why
don't you host your own show? How about that?
All right. Santa Claus Private Eye. The creative team for this book is headed by Jeremy Bernstein, just like you were talking about, who serves as the creator and writer. Bernstein brought a background rooted in TV, having written for shows like Leverage and The Librarians. Leverage is a good show. I always liked Leverage. I don't know much about the newer rendition, but either way, good heist show, kind of. But anyway, Librarians, never watched it. I know it's got Noah Wiley in it, but never watched it. Also, Jeremy Bernstein has done, or Bernstein. Oh boy.
Leonard Bernstein.
He did some video games. I started playing Dead Space there about a couple months ago. He did Dead Space 2. I'll tell you, Dead Space, the game, I was just playing the Xbox game recently, and it was scary stuff. His goal was to write a supernatural detective story, as he found Santa Claus to be an untapped character for the noir genre. The story was published as a trade paperback by Darby Pop Publishing and was initially released digitally through Thrillbent. I looked up a little bit about Thrillbent today. It was Mark Wade's digital company, if I remember correctly. And like there was going to be, digital comics was going to be the next wave, right? And it just kind of petered out, and it's not been around since 2016. So it went away. The visual elements of the crime noir story were crafted by Mike Dorman, also cited as Michael Dorman, who provided the art. Dorman's style effectively created the dark shadows and the visual tension of the genre. Jeremy Bernstein noted that Dorman killed it and was a fantastic find, who was originally hired after submitting his portfolio via a tweet to Thrillbent. The colors for the book were provided by Rob Schweiger. Schweiger's work created a solid scheme that fit the unique genre of a fantasy elf Christmas private detective. Although there was a brief debate about making the comic black and white, the team ultimately decided on color, because if they were doing Santa Claus, you got to see the red in the suit. Additionally, Troy Pateri was listed as the letterist for the Thrill Bent comic. So there you go. That's your creative team. This came out in what I think it was 2013. Do you have the book? Grab your book and take a look and see when the copyright date was.
Santa Claus Private Eye Paperback Volume 1, November 2017, first printing.
2017. Okay.
It's all saying 2017 here.
Okay. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add
No,
here?
I don't want to jump ahead of you. I will say that our record on Christmas books is like 100%. Every Christmas book we do, I end up loving.
Yeah.
Klaus was good. The Last Christmas was great. Slayer was fun. Like, I don't think we've come away from these. I have to go back and listen to him again. And of course, Jesse.
Mark.
You were not present because you were essential. You were not present for the year Christine and I did the Ultimate Warrior Christmas.
The Warrior Yeah, I remember that one.
Oh my God, that was fucking hilarious.
All right. So the book, Santa Claus Private Eye, explores the life of Santa Claus during the 364 days of the year when he is not delivering gifts. During this time, he moonlights as Nick Santana, a private detective working the rain-slick streets of the city, specializing in catching unfaithful partners. Nick is portrayed in a grim noir fantasy, trading his traditional suit for a trench coat and fedora. The concept utilizes Santa's unique abilities, his sixth sense for knowing if people are naughty or nice, and his skill at sneaking into places, making the PI role a natural fit. Nick is driven by a need for money, as giving away toys is not profitable. It's not a profitable business model, and he is a little short this month. Furthermore, the story offers a darker, depressive take on the character, suggesting he might be stuck in an endless existence and struggling with a midlife crisis. The central narrative begins when Mrs. Julia Barton approaches Nick seeking an investigation into the presumed murder of her husband, despite the police ruling the death as a suicide. Drawn by the lure of a high-class job and the money involved, Nick dives into the mystery. His investigation is classic gumshoe noir. He receives help from Jack Frost, a magical avatar whose domain has disappeared and is now a peeping Tom Hobo, acting as Nick's street snitch. Nick discovers that Julia Barton was having an affair with a wine seller named Joey Kincaid. The case intensifies when Nick confronts Joey, who attacks him and later crashes his car, and I think he dies. Despite the apparent resolution, Nick follows a hunch, realizing that Julia Barton orchestrated her husband's death for the life insurance. After avoiding Julia's attempts to shoot him, Nick subdues the femme fatale, and the police arrive. The following day, Nick returns to the North Pole to prepare for his real job. Crucially, Nick's motivation for moonlighting is deeply personal. 8 years prior, while delivering presents, he saved a woman named Miss Winters from a suicide attempt. They later become involved. 6 years ago, he finds out that he actually fathered a daughter with this woman because...
Hang on, you're missing crucial elements of this.
The crucial element.
All right, so 8 years ago, prior to Christmas, she said, hey, I'm not going to make dinner tonight. Why don't you go pick up dinner, bring home dinner, and we'll just have family fun time.
We're talking about Miss Wisner's here.
And so the father and the kids go out, and they get into a car accident and die.
Yeah.
And she cannot live with the guilt over, had she only made dinner that night, that kind of a thing, then maybe her family would still be alive. And so she's like, fuck it, I'm going to end it all. I'm going to cut my wrist in the bathtub.
Yeah.
And
Santa comes, he finds her in the tub with her wrist slit and blood all over the place.
So he rescues her from the tub. He wasn't supposed to be in the house. I can't remember what the argument with the elf is in the sleigh, but basically...
They're behind, basically.
He's like, there's something about this house. I feel like I need to go in here. She's like, it's not on the list, and we're behind. Could you speed this up and stop taking rabbit trails? He's like, no, there's something about this house. So he goes down there and he finds her, pulls her out of the tub. He calls 911, and he's like, I'm fucking Santa Claus. I got to get out of here. So he takes off. I think the following year.
Yes, the following year.
Yeah, he checks on her. And she's waiting up for him. And she's like, oh, you are real. I wasn't hallucinating. I think at this point, Santa's already... They never really get into why he's despondent and sort of disillusioned with everything. They don't quite go down the Family Guy route of Santa's like having a nervous breakdown.
You can tell he's not in the best relationship with his wife.
Him and Mrs. Claus is like a nag. But all you get is that she's nagging him. You don't get why they're having problems. In any case, Santa Claus is like a lot of middle-aged men. He's in a loveless marriage, and he doesn't feel seen. He feels like he's a slave to his job. He feels like he has no meaning in his life, and he's just sort of zombie walking through middle-aged manhood.
Right.
Facts can confirm, bought
Been
a
there.
t-shirt. Yeah, I know how you feel. Santa goes down there and checks on her, and she's all like sweatshirt hanging off her shoulders and shit. She's like, "So you are real?" And she's like, "Oh my."
It went pretty quick. I mean, they had a couple quick sentences between each other, and then she plants one right on him.
Yeah. So I'm not making any excuse for cheating. You should never cheat on your spouse. Having said that, he's so fucked up in the head and like so looking for connection. This woman's got a Florence Nightingale thing going on. I was like, well, you saved me, so vagina. And Santa's like, at least you're paying attention to me, pretty lady. So when they end up banging, he's like, well, I'm Santa, so I gotta go. And then over the course of the book, you realize that the reason why he became a detective was to make money throughout the year. The reason why he needs to make money throughout the year is because he's basically paying her
child support. Right.
I think it's a lot more than that because I know what child support is. You don't pay that much. It really depends on your income. Years ago, that might not have been the case.
He's wanting to take care of her.
Yeah, I think he's supplementing her life. Basically, he's just like, I'm Santa. You don't have to pay bills anymore. I will take care of it. I will make sure this child wants for nothing. So that's more than child support. He became a private eye to make money to give to her because he got her pregnant and she's raising his kid in secret. So he now has a secret stowaway family, and that's the book.
Yeah, that's what we find out at the end. I think he's happy. This isn't a situation where he's upset about the fact that he had a kid with this girl. I want to make sure that the audience understands that he's very happy that she
gave him purpose in a life where he felt purposeless.
Yeah. At the end of this book, he's smiling and he's holding her now. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, he's known as Uncle Nick. He's not known as Dad.
He can't tell her he's his father. He's Santa Claus. And
right.
Not to mention, this is a child he had out of wedlock. The other name for Santa Claus is Saint Nick. So he can't be like, I banged another woman.
Emphasis on the saint.
I have a kid. I did unsaintly things, you see. Like,
I'm Uncle Nick.
He's Uncle Nick.
So there you go. There it is. That's Santa Claus Private Eye. I thought we'd do something a little different.
Okay. Can I just say I love this book?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I absolutely love this book. Like I said, we're like 10 for 10 on Christmas books. Every year I find some oddball Christmas book to do, and every year I end up loving it.
Yeah.
So this is everything I love. This is hard-boiled noir. This is moral fallibility. This is Christmas. It's fucking perfect. It's weirdly not cynical. Like, right. A lot of what's happening with Christmas now, a lot of takes on Christmas is deeply cynical. It's the jingle all the way thing, where Christmas is this horribly cynical, it's only, event where love is measured in presents, which I am deeply affected by. I don't like it. I'll buy the presents, I'll participate, but I don't really want to do that anymore. I don't want to love my kids extra on Christmas. I want to love them the same all year round.
Right. And I think we've had this discussion before.
Yeah, see?
I've felt the same way. I definitely feel like I participate, but I would rather spend time with family and that be the actual present.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a little something different tonight. I'm going to run down some questions and we're going to do like, dislike. We're going to do this for all three of our books. So I'm going to ask you a question. You can tell me if you like it, dislike it. You can either leave it at one word or you can explain your side. Okay. So the overall premise, and this again is you kind of may have already answered this. The overall premise of Santa Claus mood lighting as a private detective, Nick Santana, like or dislike?
I loved it. I thought it was great. I wish this got made into a movie or a TV show. I think the premise is outstanding. The thing with Santa Claus is one night a year he delivers presents to all the good boys and girls. He spends the rest of the year making those presents. Except that made sense. Can we talk about this for a second?
Absolutely.
Can I hijack your entire thing and just focus on this one thing?
Why stop now?
Welcome to Source Material, where it's theoretically Jesse's show. The Santa Claus mythology made sense when presents were made of wood. They were simple. It was dollies, not, like dolly, D-O-L-L-Y-S, dollies, dolls. When it was trains, little wooden cars, when it was rocking horses, it made sense when the image of Christmas time is kids opening up very simple handmade toys. Then Santa theoretically could spend the entire year making them. So the myth holds up. Once we started doing electronic gifts and once the gifts got incredibly more complicated, the mythology of Santa makes no sense. I mean, and it's not like I'm the first to say that. There's like a dozen movies out there that have made that point. Where like, like Family Guy is like, I can't make all these iPhones. Like,
Right.
it's killing us. We can't do it. And then there's other movies where, it's like Santa basically has like farms this stuff out to other companies. Like they're making the iPhones and he's bringing them to good, stereos and shit. Like, what do they think? Or it's magic, or it's completely magic. There is no handheld craft at all. It's literally like, okay, here's how we do CD players and stereos and computers and iPads and, and toys that make the noise. It's like elves do magic, because how else would you do it? So I like that they threw all of that out. He has nothing to do all year.
Right.
For the 364 days that he's not dealing with Christmas, he's like, I am listless. I'm in a loveless marriage.
I do not want to be up here with her.
I don't want to be trapped in the North anymore.
Right.
I have to find some shit to do. And so I became a private eye. And I'm like, that's why I picked this book. That is a really fun premise.
Do you like he's in Miami? I can't remember if that's in the book or not, but it definitely is the opposite of the North Pole. That's for sure. It's a nice temperate climate, but
should have put him in Key West.
I agree with you. It's nice for them to just be like, okay, there's going to be elements of Santa Claus that are here. There's going to be a little bit of the myth, specifically with his powers that shows up in the book. The naughty or nice thing where he can tell that, the girl, Mrs. Barton that comes and gets, he's like, I can tell she's naughty, but I don't know what. Like, he doesn't know specifically. He doesn't know if it's, what exactly she's done, but he could just tell that she's got a little bit of a naughty side to her. And
don't we all?
I like seeing them use that mythology and the fact that he's immortal. I like that part in the book where he's like, I think I'm immortal. I don't know for sure, but I've survived a few things, but I don't really want to find out if I am or not for sure. And
it's interesting he doesn't know how magic he really is.
And
there's no threats to me in the North. I know I make toys. That's what I do.
Do you like the darker, depressive take on Santa? Now, we just kind of talked about that a little bit. This isn't really extremely depressing.
I do, but I don't know how I feel about the way it was handled, because there's a part of me that wants, like I said, we don't really know why he's as depressed as he is.
That's not fleshed out.
No, it's not. So in previous Christmas books that we did, like the last Christmas, was it the last Christmas where somebody killed Mrs. Claus and that's why Santa went on a fucking rampage?
I think so.
We talked about that where it was like heartbreaking.
It was.
I don't remember Slayer. I think Slayer's another one of these where somebody picks up the mantle of Santa Claus that has no business being Santa.
Yeah, he's like this metal dude, if I remember correctly.
Klaus's Santa is a Viking. I feel like every time that we've done one of these in the past, Santa's always grieving something. Like mourning the loss of innocence, mourning the loss of morality, mourning the loss of meaning. And again, I might be thinking about other Christmas stuff that I've experienced. Again, Family Guy being the most prominent one, but there's a bunch out there that deal with what happens when the spirit of goodness and charity loses faith in humanity.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea what's going on with him. And here's the thing. Part of me really wants to know, like, why would you leave that out of the book? But on the other hand, why can't he just be a bored middle-aged man?
Right. Working to take care of his illegitimate daughter.
Yeah. I'm bored with my job. I'm bored with my marriage. I don't know where to find my kicks anymore. And I'm supposed to be a moral paragon. Mm-hmm. So I'm held to this way high standard that it's hard for me to keep up with.
What's your thoughts on the art? Like or dislike? Any thoughts there?
To be the least I say on this stuff. It was fine.
Yeah, you're not the art guy.
No,
I know that usually
I can be the art guy if you want me to, but you're not gonna like what you hear.
Sam Keith.
Here's the thing: I have no active complaints about the art. I thought it matched the tone of the book.
All right, the black and white versus the color that they had mentioned earlier, where they thought about doing this in black and white, which would kind of fit that noir feel. Do you think you would have rather enjoyed it either? Got any preference?
Because if you were gonna do it in black and white, you had to do it in black and white and red.
Oh, that would have been actually cool. Like that be the only bit of color that comes
Yep.
through is just the red.
I'm a slave to traditional comic book aesthetic. I like color. I like nice inky books.
Sure. Do you like the specific integration of noir and holiday mythology? We kind of talked about that already. We got Jack Frost that shows up here. We have an elf that works as his receptionist.
I was casting Dennis Leary as Jack Frost.
Jack Frost? That makes a lot more sense.
Jack Frost is like rolling all over the hood of his car. That's covered in ice. And he's like,
get off the car. I gotta defrost my windows now. We got the dialogue in here. There's definitely a feel of gumshoe dialogue. I mean,
Yep.
Did you like that? I figured you did. This kind of fits in with the noir. And the depiction of the femme fatale, Mrs. Julia Barton. What did you think of her here? Like, dislike her? I mean, this felt like, to me, it felt like this is classic noir.
Beautiful
she
dame walks
walked
into
in
my office and ruins my life.
Right. So it fit the story. I didn't hate it. Okay. You read it as a trade paperback. And we don't really talk too much about how getting a story issue by issue versus trade paperback and how that impacts you in any way. Have you ever felt the need to get a story like this issue by issue?
No.
Okay.
Here's where I'll meet you in the middle. I don't really want to read digital comics anymore. It hurts my eyes. It's one of the few tactile things that I've hung on to because, like, I don't have CDs anymore. I don't have cassettes. I don't have DVDs. I don't have Blu-rays. But I still like the feel of the comic book in my hands.
Yeah, there's been previous episodes where you said you get a complete story in these.
I don't want individual issues. I like getting trades.
Right. Same here. I'm a fan of the trade paperback. That way I don't have to go seeking out specific issues. That is the worst sometimes when you're just trying to find part 3 of the 5-part story you need. I enjoyed what I read. It was very simple. This isn't anything that's going to break your brain like we're about to get into probably in one of these two.
If this was like an 8-episode series on Netflix, would you watch this?
8 episodes, I think, would be too long for this story. If it was an 8-episode series on Santa Claus Private Eye and this be like episode 1, I mean, this feels like Murder, She Wrote or something like that. Like, this is one episode because, you get...
Would you watch a 90-minute movie of this?
I would, as long as we got a few more, we had Jack Frost. Maybe we could have a few other references to some Christmas thing.
This is a 2-hour movie, and it's a little more Chinatown and a little more dramatic. We're introducing a few more characters. The Sugar Plum Fairy, perhaps.
Yeah, Nutcracker's going to show up.
The Sugar Plum Fairy has got to be trans. He walked into a gay bar and he's just like, I need to talk to SPF. SPF? I don't know about that. On SPF, you need to make an appointment with SPF. It just walks out and it's fucking like RuPaul or some shit. They're like, hello, Nick.
Really flamboyant.
Sugar Plum Fairy, we meet again.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what I would like. I mean, I would like to see something, fleshes out his world a little bit more. Maybe we can learn a little bit more about the guy.
Find out why he's fucking, him and Mrs. Claus are like, what's going on at the North Pole that you don't want to be home.
Right. So if you're looking at this book, like I said,
it opens up and like an elf is banging his wife, and he's like, I don't even want to be here anymore.
He opens the door and he slowly shuts it. books his plane ticket to Miami. Yeah. So it was a simple story as far as enjoying it and reading it. You're not going to
Frosty. Sorry. I don't know.
Frosty the Snowman in Miami is going to be a drug dealer.
He walked in on Mrs. Claus banging Frost. A hot Frosty.
Oh my goodness.
Frosty
hot
too.
Frosty doing it. Jeez Louise.
Frosty, baby.
Oh, man.
I don't know why Mrs. Claus is Edith in my world.
Oh, Saint Nick. Those were the days. I'm out of here.
Please move on before I get stupider.
That's all I got for the comic. You got anything else you want to say?
It's going to be hard for me to continue to find really good Christmas books. Maybe I say that now, but who knows what next year will bring. But I genuinely enjoyed this. I genuinely enjoy doing our Christmas episodes. I think we have a lot of fun talking about this stuff. You and I are more or less on the same page with Christmas. So it's just 2 friends at a bar. Just like, I love Christmas, but people make me hate it.
I don't want to be out in this mess.
Right. And so it's our time to talk about that.
Yeah.